Okay. All right. So we are at at the middle of the uh, poem number 50. I mean, commentary on the poem number 50, and this we came up to here last time, and uh, as all you guys probably know, uh, the good thing about Rumi is that uh, everywhere you start, every uh, it's Rumi is an endless journey of self-discovery, and for those who have just joined, welcome, welcome. This river of wisdom has no beginning or end. Though we have covered content before, the divine insight in Rumi's verses do not require an accumulation of prior understanding, but rather a complete presence in the here and now as we open our hearts to receive Rumi's poet to receive. Rumi's poetry is like an endless river flowing through the landscape of the soul. His words resonate with readers across generations, offering timeless wisdom that remains relevant in every era. Each verse is a profound exploration of the self and the divine, encouraging readers to look inward, seek the divine within themselves, and understand their place in the universe. Okay, so this is verse 1387, book 4. هیچ مجرم دان و مجرم گو مترس تا ندزدد از تو آن استاد درس. Know yourself a sinner and call yourself a sinner. Do not be afraid so that the master may not secretly take away the lesson from you. So this is a very important lesson that Rumi is teaching us in order for us to learn to get the lessons, to get the wisdom, to get the Rumi's teaching. Uh, we have to confess and realize and accept that we are sinners. We are defective. If you don't like the word sinner, because you think you haven't sinned anything, you have pure and good, and you don't. I mean, most of us try to not to sin, but without. But at the same time, we do sin. As a matter of fact, some Sufis say uh, everybody who doesn't see God is a sinner, because we are supposed to see God. And so, in that sense, everybody is a sinner except those uh, few, very, very few uh, individuals who have uh, who are seeing God and deal with Him on a daily basis. So he says, don't say I'm not I'm perfect. So, say confess you're defective. You don't know things. You are not complete. You are not perfect. We have discussed of that uh, fantasy of perfection, which is a very negative attribute and causes trouble for us. So know that you're defective, and don't be afraid to say I'm defective, because some people are concerned about their reputation. They think if they say, "Oh, I don't know much. I'm defective," they would look bad in the eye of others. The Rumi says, "Don't be afraid." And Rumi himself, in a lot of places, he says, "I'm defective. I'm a sinner. I don't know everything. I'm ignorant. So God, please show me the way." So the master, which is God, the divine, may neither steal or secretly take away the lesson from you. It is a good lesson, right? It teaches us not to be obnoxious, to be humble, not to be uh, egotistical and boastful, as they say in English, right? چون بگویی جاهلم تعلیم ده، این چنین انصاف از ناموس به. That's, as a matter of fact, uh, 41388. This is the verse after book 4, verse 1388, 1388, which is right after the previous verse. When you say, I am ignorant, give me instruction. Such fair dealing is better than a false reputation. Tell to God Almighty, tell to the Divine, I am ignorant. Give me instruction. Teach me, help me. This fair being, this fair dealing, this fairness. Because in fairness, we all are ignorant. We all are defective. We all are incomplete. We all are sinners. That's what Rumi says in fairness. So we say, be fair and tell to Almighty, to the Divine, I am ignorant. And this is better than a false reputation. This is better than uh, than than showing off as a complete person, right? Showing off as a complete person and pretending perfection. Because basically, uh, some people, they pretend to be good, they pretend to be perfect, they pretend to be complete, they pretend to be knowledgeable, and they're not. So they're trying to uh, uh, keep a false reputation for the people around them that, oh, I'm good, I'm perfect, I'm knowledgeable, I'm this and that, and they expect respect from others because of due to this false reputation that they are creating around themselves. Therefore, our relationship with God is that when something goes wrong, we admit that is our fault. I did not empty my core from attachment, which is why I have issues. Okay, it shows I have issues. So uh, that's another interpretation of this verse. In the following verse, Rumi tells us how egoic mind destroys our lives. مسجد است آن دل که جسمش ساجد است. یار بد خرو به هر جا مسجد است. مسجد است آن دل که جسمش ساجد است. یار بد خرو به هر جا مسجد است. مسجد است آن دل که جسمش ساجد است. یار بد خرو به هر جا مسجد است. Reading uh, uh, the poems in Farsi correctly and stopping the places that you're supposed to stop is very important. As a matter of fact, I heard from Dr. Nasr, which is a very good scholar of Rumi, and he's a Sufi himself. He's a believer, and he's in the he is a practicing Sufi. He said, my father-in-law had a trouble with one of verses of Rumi, and he went to a very uh, learned scholar and Sufi uh, practitioner in Iran, and he went and said, Master, I have a problem in this verse. Please help me. And Dr. Nas said, the master read it for him properly, and he got it. So reading is that important because the questioner, uh, the father-in-law who had problem with the verse, did not read it properly. And the master Sufi, great scholar of Masnavi and Maulana, uh, read the poem properly, and he got it. The father-in-law got it. That's why I repeat myself sometimes, because I want to get the right the right reading of the reciting of the verse. The mosque is the heart to which the body bows down. Wherever the mosque is, the bad companion will destroy it. This is book 4, verse 1383. The mosque is the heart to which the body bows down. Wherever the mosque is, the bad companion will destroy it. So if you're bowed down, meaning in Islam, when you are praying and when you're worshiping the divine, you bow down. That's a representation of your heart. When you bow down, you are confessing to the Almighty, to the divine, that I am incomplete, I'm ignorant, I am humble in front of your greatness. And that the expression of the heart, that that uh, that means that the heart has to be humble. So if you are bowing down, if one bows down in the body and it doesn't bow down in the heart, that doesn't do any good, right? So the bowing down of the body is the expression and the representation of what happens in the heart. And now, so the heart, which is bowing down and is worshiping, and uh, the Almighty. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but what do you say to people who say they suffer from self-loathing because they always lower themselves too much? They don't have self-confidence. They think they are worse than other people.
Uh, okay, my dear Bira, that self-loathing is totally different what the Sufi and Rumi says. It's a very good point, by the way. We have to have a distinction between self-loathing and humility. There is a saying which I hope I can translate it for you. I might not be able to do it word by word, but I'm gonna translate the content. So worship, they say worship in front of God is an action which in the appearance looks self-loathing and reducing oneself and belittling yourself. But it is in reality it is making yourself as big as infinity. Now, let me explain it to you. I'm trying to say it properly so you get it. Okay, because in Islam when we say in Quran and in Masnavi we say God blew his soul into the soil. When we say in the story of creation we say God created the man from soil, from dirt, right? Stinking mud, Quran says. And then God blew his own soul into us. Okay? Now, so we know that we are have the soul of the divine. So we are the greatest of the great because we have the soul of the divine. Because God tells us, I blew from my spirit to you. Correct? Now, what is what? But at the same time, ego was created. Okay? So ego and God, spirit, soul is in us and they are in conflict. When we are saying we need to be humble, is that the ego part should be humble and be pushed down for the divine side to show up. So it is, as a matter of fact, the Sufis who telling us to be humble and get rid of the nafs, the ego. They are telling the reason they are telling us to do it because they want us to understand our greatness. Self-loathing is not greatness, man. If you are self-loathing, if you have low confidence, that means you have not seen the spiritual side of yourself, the godly side of yourself, the godly part of yourself, which is that God's divine spirit in you. Okay. So that's why I said if you the act of worship on the surface and the appearance look like you're belittling yourself. But in reality, in truth, you are understand and you realize your greatness. Did it make sense to you, Vita Khanum?
Yes, yes. Yeah, thank you. So it's not just a superficial.
No, 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 it's not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
Hafiz says, yeah, if I can remember this. سرم به دنیا و نمیگردد. I forgot the word between. از این فتنه ها که در دل ماست. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it's exactly the opposite. It's, you see, it's something which in the appearance it looks belittling, but in reality it is realizing the greatness of the worshiper, the worship. Because when you go down and bow down and you put your face on earth, as you can see, as you see in Muslim prayers, that's the time. If you really do it right, you understand your greatness. That's you understand your greatness because that is. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, man, I found it for you. Let me see if I can find here. This is Ghazal number 22 from Hafiz. This is verse number 2. سرم به دنیا و عقبا فرو نمی آید. تبارک الله از این فتنه ها که در سر ماست. My head is not bowing down to this world and to the other world. Tabarakallah means I'm surprised. God is surprised. I'm surprised from this thought which is in my head. So, as a worshipper, I do not bow down to this world and to the other. See how much fitna is here. Fitna is, has a negative connotation, but here he doesn't mean it that way. He said, look, what kind of a thought I have, what kind of a plan I have. My plan is to be above and beyond this world and the other side and the other one. Dunya akhirat means uqba, means this world and the other one. So this is Hafiz. This is a master Sufi. And he says, I don't wanna, don't judge me when I'm worshipping and I'm bowing down. That means I'm small. I'm extremely big. I'm infinity. I don't even the thought that I have, the places that I plan to go is infinity. See, this is Hafiz, by the way. So I hope I explained it to you, my dear. سرم به دنیا و عقبا فرو نمی آید تبارک الله از این فتنه ها که در سر ماست. Means I have big plans. I have big plans. I have the ambitions of the whole world in my head. But on the surface, in appearance, I do bow my head. Did I answer your question, my dear Bita?
Yes, yeah, thank you.
You're
So,
welcome.
yes,
You're welcome.
very good. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, now we go to the next, which is continuation of the previous verse, is verse 1384, book 4. یار بد چون رست در تو مهر او هین از او بگریز و کم کن گفتگو. When love for a bad companion has grown in you, beware, flee from him, and do not converse with him. Now he's talking about bad companion, uh, wrong companion, the companion who would result in troubled companion. When love for a bad companion has grown in you, beware, flee from him, and do not converse with him. Another Sufi poet, Sa'di, says, همنشین تو از تو به باید تا تو را عقل و دین بیفزاید. Your companion should be better than you. Therefore, he or she can increase your intellect, your aql, your intellect, your mind, your wisdom, and your deen, which is your religion. Basically, religion, he doesn't mean religion in a common sense, in what we understand. Religion, the way Sadi uses it, is the path, is the path. It's like a Sufi path. It says, so he can improve your intellect and your wisdom and improve your path, improve the knowledge of the path in you. No, this is the opposite of what Sadi says here. Rumi says, برکن از بیخش که گر سر برزند مر تو را و مسجدت را برکند. That's the next verse, 1385, book 4. Tear it up by the root, for if it shoots up its head, it will demolish both you and your mosque. Means you can say mosque, the way I can see it's like your heart. It would demolish, it would damage, it would destroy your body, yourself, and your mosque. your mosque, your body, your heart. It will destroy your body and soul. Tear it up by the root. That uh, uh, tear it up by the root. It's like a bad plant. It's like a, a, a plant which would uh, destroy you, a destroying plant, right? Tear it up by the root, for if it shoots up its head, it will demolish both you and your mosque. That is how bad a troubled companion is for us. It's very important. I have seen so many lives destroyed by bad companion. It's just, I'm sure everybody has that experience. And sometimes, God forbid, we get into that trouble by hanging out with a bad companion, with a bad individual. Our mosque our mosque or church is the expanded heart. But if you let your egoic mind be active, then it will destroy your mosque or church. So here another way of looking at it is that a mosque or church that he said up there is the expanded heart, and this bad root, bad plant is the egoic mind. In order, if you allow this bad plant to grow in you, inside you, and be active, it will destroy your mosque, your church, your heart, your goodness, your beauty, your divinity, your spiritual uh, values. Okay, then now we're going to book 3, verse 362. قبض دیدی چاره آن قبض کن زان که سرها جمله می روید زبون. You have felt the contraction, seek a remedy for it, because all heads grow from the bottom root. So the contraction of the heart comes from a root, from a bottom. That bottom is the cause of this contraction. Go cure that. Go cure that. Whenever you get contracted, you become mad or anxious and stressed out, you need to expand your heart. This is the key. Mr. Shahbazi repeats it every time. Every time. I have heard him so many times saying, expand your heart. Expand your heart. It refers to a verse in Quran. Rabb ashrahli sadri. God, please expand my heart for me. God, please expand my heart for me. I think that's one of the best uh, prayers in Quran. And this is from the tongue of Musa alayhi salam, Prophet Musa. Um, peace upon him, that he said, Rabbi Shrehli Sadri. And there is a continuation, there's other prayers in it, but this is very important. So that what it means that when anything happens, instead of contracting our heart, we have it to expand our heart, open our heart, and accept it. Now, it doesn't mean we don't want to change it. Accepting it and surrendering it to it, meaning you are opening a space around it so the wisdom of the universe and divinity come and help you in that situation, whatever it happens to be, because our heart is infinity. Potentially our heart has infinite volume, infinite expansion, but since we are trapped in the ego, our heart has contracted. Now our job is to expand it. We came from expansion. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We are coming from God and we are going back. We came from expansion. We came from infinity. Our heart was expanded infinitely. Then we came to the body, we got contracted. Now we have to expand again. See, it's like going back to the source. Yeah, just closing the circle. Expansion of the heart is very good. That's a good prayer. Please, God, expand your heart for me. My heart, I'm sorry, my heart for me. عاشقا خرو به تو آمد کژی همچو طفلان سوی کژ چون میغژی. O lover, your destroyer is falseness. Why do you creep like children towards the false? You're creeping toward the false. That's what he says. You are a lover, and this falseness will destroy you. Why you are moving, creeping, stepping toward like children toward the falsehood and falseness and false. Yeah. Ego is false, by the way. It doesn't exist. Ego is an illusion. It does not exist. What exists is the divine, which is our godly spirit. God's spirit. That's what it exists. Our destroyer is allowing the attachment to come to our core. Our destroyer is allowing the attachment to come to our core. So any attachment but the Almighty, the divinity, the divine is destroys us, is a destroyer. Any attachment. The only Sufi, Rumi, and other Sufis, they're telling us the only thing in our heart should be attachment to the Almighty, to the divine. Every other attachment is false, is wrong. It is gonna get us in trouble. گفت اندر تو چه خاصیت بود گفت من رستم مکان ویران شود. We talked about that plant. You remember that plant? Then he said, what a special property resides in you, in that plant. The plant replied, where I have grown, the place becomes desolate. There is in Iranian culture, I don't know exactly the name of uh, the plant, but there is a plant. They say if that plant grows in any property, it will destroy it. It's a sign that the property will be destroyed and will be gone, basically. And Rumi uses that analogy to tell us about this, our nafs, our ego, and the attachment in our core, which is like a plant which will destroy us, which will destroy the property, which will destroy our home, which is our heart, our home which will be destroyed. The home will be destroyed by when that plant grows in that area. This is a very important verse. If you ask your egoic mind, what is your characteristic? It will tell, whenever I grow, I will destroy that place. Ego says, wherever I grow, I will destroy that place. If it grows in us, it will destroy us. If it grows in a family, it will destroy the family. If it grows in a society, it will grow in a society. If it grows in a country, it will destroy the country. It is a law of the universe. Ego is a destroyer. It's a mechanism to destroy. It's a destroyer machine. That's its job. That's what it was built for. گرگ درنده است نفس بد یقین چه بهانه می نهی بر هر غریم. گرگ درنده است نفس بد یقین، چه بهانه می نهی بر هر غریب. Assuredly, your wicked egoic mind is a violent wolf. Why are you laying the blame on every comrade neighbor? Rumi says, do not blame others. Do not blame your neighbor. Do not blame your comrade. Do not blame your mom, your dad, your brother, your siblings, your friends. You Your egoic mind is a wolf, is a violent wolf. That is the one who destroys you. That is the one who tears you apart. That's the one who attacks you. That's the one who will finish you. Do not blame others. See, he is very, very honest with us. Rumi is very honest, very honest, mercilessly honest. That's, I think, the right way to say it. Mercilessly honest. Don't blame others. Look at yourself. Look at the mirror. You are the violent wolf. You, I mean, is the egoic mind, the nafs. The ego is the violent wolf. As we know, since we came to this world, we have a bad neighbor, which is our ego, which resembles a violent wolf. It is representative of the devil and is Satan and destroys us from within. If we see the world based on an egoic mind, it will mesmerize us. Rumi told us, even though the egoic mind mesmerizes us, there are mesmerizers like Rumi that will remove the bad spell. Therefore, we know we should not blame the people around us for our own flaws. You cannot ruin your life and then blame your comrades. Our own ego is the violent wolf and will harm us and others, and we should not blame others. Maybe we have people around us who are lovers and want to help us, and we have these horrible, violent wolves inside us, and we are rejecting and repulsing them. A profound message, very, very scary, right? But Rumi, wants us to be aware and to be mindful of the fact that we can destroy ourselves. The ego mesmerizes us, and we are bewildered by our ego. But there are mesmerizers like Rumi that remove the bad spell. So the ego has put a bad spell on all of us. And I mean, all of us except the ones who have removed the bad spell by controlling their ego. That's right, right? That's what it says. We should not blame the people around us for our flaws. You cannot ruin your life and then blame your comrade. Our own ego is the violent wolf and will harm us and others, and you should not blame others. This is very important. Let me repeat it again. Let me read it again. Maybe we have people around us who are lovers and want to help us and have these horrible, violent wolves inside us, and we are rejecting and repulsing him. And maybe we are attacking him and we are trying to tear him apart. These lovers, yes, yes, we are not careful, we can tear apart and attack and harm lovers, good people, people who are already achieved salvation. You know, we say in Farsi, Awliyaullah. Awliyaullah means the friends of God. The friends of God. There are friends of God everywhere. but we don't recognize them, and we might, God forbid, that's the worst one can do, by the way. The worst one can do. There's a story in Rumi, in Masnavi, and there's a villager, a farmer, a villager. Farmer had a, a a cow, and he put the cow. It was winter time. He put the cow in the stable, and uh, then then when he went to sleep, and then there was a violent storm, and a lion came and and killed the cow and ate him. And because it was very cold and rainy outside, he stayed in the stable in the place where the cow was uh, standing, the dead cow. And the villagers at the middle of night, he woke up and he saw a storm, and he saw a lot of uh, rain, and he said, "Oh my God, a thunder!" He said, "Let me go and make sure I take care of my wolf. I'll go and uh, you know be around him." But he was lazy to take his lamp. He just went in dark inside the stable. He started touching supposedly cow, but he was touching the lion. And lion said, "If there was a light here, if he have brought his lamp with me and realized that he's touching me, a lion, he would have died on spot from fear." My dad told me this story and said, that lion are the Sufi masters, the awliyaullah, the friends of God. And we are in dark, and we are touching them thinking they are cow, but they are lions. They can eat us alive. They don't do that usually. They have a lot of mercy on us, but they're strong people. I think this is a beautiful verse, but I want to stop here because I want to talk about this more, and we're at 7:58, and I don't want to keep anybody more than I supposed to. So, what do you think?
Yeah,
That's a good
sounds good.
idea. Sounds
Yes,
good.
yeah, it's a
This this
perfect
this is
place.
yeah, this is a beautiful verse, Bita Haram, and
Mm.
I want to save it for next time. I thank
Mm.
you so much for the attendance, and I hope I did open up your heart a little bit. Help you to open your heart. I'm sorry, I cannot open. God can open your heart. I help you to God and you open your heart.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed, like, how some people who have the illusion that they are perfect, so they don't face their own shortcomings and flaws. So they expect other people to actually worship them. So they trouble others that way, and they cause suffering, and they themselves suffer. So it's like a long journey before the humility comes to see our, you said, defects or limitations. Yeah, that's very difficult.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
difficult, but but God willing, we are on the path. We are trying to do our best, right?
yes, thank you for your time. Yeah, have
Thank
a good
you.
weekend. Yeah, until next 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, God bless you. Thank you, my
Okay,
dear.
be
Take
the best.
care.
Okay,
Bye bye.
bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.